As far as Russia and the war in Ukraine is concerned, now European countries are demanding answers from Beijing after its top diplomat in Paris questioned the sovereignty of the former Soviet republics like Ukraine in a televised interview. The comments made by the Chinese envoy to France, Lu Shaye, caused a diplomatic firestorm among European foreign ministers and lawmakers. Several countries, in fact, summoned China's envoy for a clear-cut explanation. Shaye's remarks threatened to harm China's ongoing efforts to balance trade with the European leaders while supporting Russia as well. Now, the war in Ukraine has put Beijing in an awkward position as it refuses to condemn Russia's invasion, while also promising not to help Russia militarily in its war, as it shares a no-limits partnership with Russia. China's foreign ministry has tried to stem the fallout from Mr. Lu's remarks, insisting that it recognizes the sovereignty of all the former Soviet republics that have declared independence, including Ukraine. And so what kind of impact will this have on China and the European Union as far as their diplomatic relationships is concerned? Let me quickly go back to Fred. Fred, will these comments of the Chinese ambassador to France undermine China's efforts to be seen as a potential mediator between Russia and Ukraine?
It's possible because that is a very unusual thing to say. You know, we live in a world of sovereign states. The world order, since World War II at least, has been that members of the United Nations exist within defined boundaries, sovereign states. They have territorial integrity, and any attempt to upset that or change the maps, especially by means of force, is illegal and wrong in the way we look at things in the 21st century, though there are well-known exceptions, as in Israel, Kosovo. I mean, there are plenty of exceptions, but generally speaking, we live in this world, and everybody, in a way, lives in a glass house. China certainly does. So does Russia. You know, if you start questioning the borders, then you're like offside in the international arena. However, Putin has launched a major challenge to that order in Ukraine. He has basically ripped up the map and intends to redraw it by means of force. So I don't know what the Chinese remark means. It could be one diplomat who's out of line, and he will be corrected in the fullness of time. I don't know how, or it does represent, if he was speaking in line with Beijing's changing stance, then it does represent a new tone from China, and one that would be very supportive of Putin.
Fred, ties between Europe and China particularly have soured as Europe has uneasily watched China's tightening relationship with Russia and its refusal to condemn Putin's invasion in Ukraine. Will the Chinese ambassador's comments place Beijing under the spotlight at a particularly sensitive moment for China's European diplomacy?
Indeed, that is how we see things, and yet I don't know. I'm a political journalist. I've been doing it a long time, and I can't count the number of times I've seen diplomats go off script. They do, and that may be what has happened here. Let's hope it is, because otherwise the scandal is very real. But in that case, I think if he just misspoke, then he'll probably apologize. Or Beijing will issue some sort of a statement that's corrective in nature. Let's wait for that. But if not, if that stands, then of course they have every reason to be upset in Europe. They are upset. And I think we all have to wonder about what's going on in Beijing vis-a-vis the Russian war.